Probably we'll start with the round of introductions. We'll introduce ourselves, what our organization does, keep it brief, and then we'd like to, open the table up for discussion. We can probably start off with your introductions. And then we have 3 crisp questions wherein we wanted to hear from you all, and then ideate on that, and then someone wanted to present. That's the broad format. I am John. I head the retail sector for DHL supply chain in India. DHL supply chain, as you can see, is the domestic logistics arm of DHL. DHL is the Deutsche Post German organization, so we are all part of the DPDHL group. In India, other than DHL supply chain, we have DHL Express, which takes care of cross-border e-commerce. So if any of you all are selling products globally, you can utilize express services. We have Blue Dart, which is probably the most well-known brand, again a DPDHL entity. Then we have DHL Global Forwarding, again focusing on cross-border trade facilitation, but unlike Express, this takes care of the larger freight. So containerized movement, larger bulk movements by air. That's the 4 entities that we have present in India. So typically, whenever we introduce ourselves as DHL, people tend to confuse us with one or the other entity. So just wanted to make that clear. I also have Kushagra here.
Hi everyone, I'm Kushagra. I take care of the DHL Fulfilment Network product, the product that we designed a few years back, taking care of D2C brands, supply chain that is going omni-channel and everything. So that's the product that I take care of. Hear from you what you guys need, where we can improve that product further.
So probably a quick round of introductions.
Hi, I'm Kapil Pathare from Mumbai. I'm the director and the promoter of the brand of VIP Innovate, company named VIP Clothing, along with the domestic market, which is our 90% of customer. We do exports to Middle East and Gulf region, and I can proudly say that Made in India brand is now globally present.
I'm Aanchal, I'm the CEO of Flyrobe. So we rent clothes, occasion wear category via online and stores. We've got about 15 running stores and opening 5 more in the coming month. And the philosophy of the brand is outfit on rent and memories permanent, promoting of course green fashion and sustainability.
Hi, my name is Akshay, Mahendru. I am the co-founder and CEO of the Pet Point and Nootie. So the Pet Point is one-stop solution in retail for all pet needs, whether it's services, whether it's products. It's all under one roof. Nootie is our D2C pet care brand through which we're doing a lot of pet care products at the price point for the mass premium pet parents. Not trying to commercialize the pet parenting is our agenda behind whatever we are doing. We are of retail first. We are at the moment 15 stores across northern India, primarily towards 2 in Delhi and 1 in Chandigarh. And Nootie is something which we are trying to scale in the next year or so to become the first house of brands in pets to come across in India as such.
Hi guys, I'm Kaushal from Mish Designs. We are a women's western wear brand, primarily selling online. We started off in India and now proud to say, like Mr. Kapil said, we are global, selling all over GCC and in Europe, soon to be in America and Canada as well.
Hi, Vikram Narula. I have my own independent watch brand called Jain Watches. We kind of now making another brand called Aham Watches because Indians somehow don't like the concept of having Ajwain as a watch on the wrist. So we're doing a sort of a bifurcation. And incidentally, we make one of the best leather straps in the country. I'm very proud of that.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. My name is Jyoti Bharadwaj. I'm the founder of zero sugar beverage brand TeaFit. We make brewed bottle beverages from real teas and botanicals. We also make instant tea premixes in sachets. So these are the 2 broad categories. We retail offline, online, quick commerce, Zepto, Blinkit, Mumbai, Reliance, Nature's Basket, and essentially all good online channels. We also are available in airlines and a few other like office spaces like Facebook, exporting to 8 countries. This was a brainchild out of my kitchen in 2021, and from there to today, we've traveled many miles. We have many miles to go, but it's been a wonderful, fulfilling journey. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mohit, founder of Miraggio. We are an aspirational handbag and lifestyle accessories brand. We started 3 years back, primarily online on our website as well as all marketplaces. And our vision is to fill a very large bridge in Indian market in fashion and lifestyle accessory space and build a one-stop destination for it, for fashion and lifestyle accessories. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jain. We run multi-brand outlets across India. So we have got, we are the exclusive owner of luxury kids wear in India. We have got Emporio Armani, Stella McCartney, Hugo Boss, Sonny Raquel as well. And currently we are having 7 stores. And we are also present at our own website with Tata Click Luxury and Mantra Lux. That's it.
Hi, I'm Garima. I'm one of the founders of Fraganote. We have a fine fragrances brand. Our vision is to basically bring the 10,000 rupee perfume in under 1,500 to the customers of India. The oils are sourced from the best sources in the world. And we're only 2 years into our journey. We are available on our website and most marketplaces, and also expansion of different type of fragrances and not sticking to something that's called, don't quote me, club or CEO. But yeah, so that's what we are trying to do.
Hi everyone, I'm Richa. I'm the founder of Kaushal, which is a CBD wellness company. CBD, as you all know, is derived from the cannabis plant. It is medicinal. We have Ayurvedic license, and yes, we are legal, because these are all the first 3 questions that everyone asked me. So answering that, and this started 3 years ago because of there's a very personal reason behind it. I lost my dog Champ to cancer in 2019, and I'm ex-marketing head at Times Internet. And that's when I quit my job, and I was in the middle of the pandemic, and I decided that I cannot, this cannot be the status quo, that there has to be a way to give comfort to people who are at their fag end, or perhaps even preventative care. So we have human products and pet products. Human products account for almost 80% of our portfolio, and then we have, of course, CBD for pets, which is specially formulated for pets because pets cannot have THC, but the human product or the product line for humans do have THC, so we have sort of recreational plus medical, all of that kind of clientele happening. And products are prescription based. Another question, so I thought I'll answer that as well. And yeah, we've been around for 3 years, and now we are, we only sell in India, and we do last mile delivery to all of pin codes, to the most southernmost parts and to the most easternmost parts. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hi.
I wish I was Gary. I would have definitely.
So I'm Vrinda, and I'm the founder of Swizzle. What we do is we manufacture beverages, carbonated beverages, which are first ever in the category that we don't use any artificial flavoring in the product. It's a clean label product, and only we are doing it right now. And we are there available in more than 1,000 locations pan-India across 8+ cities as of now.
Cool. Thanks everyone for the brief introduction. I mean, we've been here since the morning hearing a lot of interesting stories from a lot of these founders, a lot of the brands, a lot of takeaways for us. Hopefully this session also adds to that. Yeah, moving on with the session. This is the agenda. We're calling it the foolproof fulfillment formula. And the whole idea is you brands, and from whatever I was hearing from the other panelists during the broader discussions, was that the consumers have evolved. The consumers of today have different purchase patterns, right? So people from my generation, not that old, but yeah. So my purchase habit was, if I wanted to buy something, I typically go on a Google or an alternate search engine. I'd type in the product category, and I'd get a listing of products, right? And then whatever would appeal me, I'd go there, or it would direct me to a marketplace. I'd key in the search there, find the product. That was the way how product discovery was done. And from whatever I hear from, the brands, even, my evolving purchasing behavior is that a lot of the discovery now happens on social media, right? You have platforms like Instagram, etc. And what they essentially do is they tend to take you directly to the brand's web shop in many of the cases, or you get directed to the brand directly, go to the offline store, etc. So that is a significant evolution that has happened. But having, succeeded at bringing the customers directly to your platforms, how do you then ensure that you offer the same experience that the platforms offer? That's the thought with which we post this question. And you can always have one purchase happen, right? And that's what I heard from all the audience there. You put in a lot of investment in acquiring a customer, but the real mantra is how do you retain customers? So that's where we wanted to put in this question to you. How do you ensure repeat business, repeat customers, repeat purchases for your individual brands? What is it that you do? And this question is more relevant for us as a service partner also, because a large part of the experience and what the customer takes away is also the supply chain experience, right? I mean, Snapdeal had a very large campaign, right? Unboxing happiness, right? So the whole idea was you need that physical element, that physical experience of when you receive the product, also matching up to the experience and the quality that you've been able to do with regards to the front-end marketing and other factors. So I'll probably open the session. It's an open session. All of you all can contribute, but then I'll try to bring in probably, let's say, Mohit and Kapil to start off, and then we take it to each and every one of you, please.
So I think, as you rightly mentioned, product of course is the key, right, for us. I mean, at the end of the day, the consumer is paying for the product, but I guess multiple elements adds on to ensuring the repeat purchase, and I think this is the most important problem in the Indian market, in the handbag space we are trying to solve. So for us, delivery, of course, if you ask me how do you actually ensure that people come and buy on your website compared to when it's available on Myntra and Nyka's of the world, of course, number one is delivery. And even before the delivery timelines is also the overall checkout experience. How quickly can I check out? How informative it is? And then at the end of the day, it's delivery. And the most important part, and I think it's a study that I read as well, 90% of the consumers will come back to you if your unboxing experience is great. So I think that also counts a lot. And then of course the product plays an important role. And then it's a product itself, the category itself. If you are actually able to understand the consumers, for example, skincare, you cannot build a business or a beauty business at a 700 rupees AOV if you don't have a repeat. For us, we make money on the first sales itself, but what we are trying to solve is build repeat purchase in handbag and accessories as a category. So for us, repeat is important. So I think it's then boils down to understanding your consumer, actually digging deep into analytics. So for example, for us, we know our repeat purchase happen on the 93rd day as a brand for the consumer. So if that is the case, we are able to ensure that 4 times a consumer can buy from us in a year. So I think all of these things actually helps to keep track and make sure the right communication is there. What we used to do before finding this data is send the message every 30 days on WhatsApp, but actually didn't make sense, because now we realize that, okay, if the consumer is paying, coming back averagely on 93rd day, 90th day is where we will start sending the communication. So I think all of these elements is what I feel are important to ensure the repeat business.
Yeah, I wanted to also speak to you specifically on the element of delivery. You mentioned delivery. So customers have the luxury of quick commerce.
Absolutely.
Right? And then of course the marketplaces focus on same day, next day delivery. So when you say delivery, are you trying to match the experience on speed, or are you trying to focus on the experience with regards to accuracy, quality, product not being damaged, etc.?
No, I think everything. Speed is also important because we are opening our 3PL now in Bangalore. So it's going to open in the mid-September. Post which we are trying to solve for Guwahati, because that's a very interesting space for us, because in that area there are a lot of fashionable people. We think Tier 1 has a lot of fashion people in Delhi, Mumbai, but Northeast is very big in fashion, so we're going to solve that. So speed, of course, is also very important. At the same time, accuracy and everything is what we are solving at our mother warehouse itself. We have a 33,000 square feet warehouse, well managed by cameras and high-tech systems, VMS, everything. But speed with commerce and everything, consumer is impatient. I don't think consumer is ready to wait for 5, 6, 7 days until unless you're offering something extraordinary out there and you have that stickiness to the brand and it's one of its kind. But then you cannot grow multiple folds as a brand if you don't spread your wings to multiple stores and 3PLs. But we will now get into retail. Of course, omni-channel will make it easier, but right now speed is also of an essence.
Yeah, so as I said, I come from a category of innerwear, and it's very important to know that for any repeat purchases, first thing is the brand loyalty for a consumer is so important, which will add on to the repeat purchases. But having said this, from a brand perspective, I feel that from the D2C channel, the order fulfillment and the order efficiency level needs to be considered very important, because as we rightly know that today's customer is not ready to wait for us. We need to really satisfy the timelines of the consumer at what level they are looking forward for the product. And at the same time, it's not about just consumer, but it's also about the channel partners with whom we are going to do business, because the complete chain is so important for the repeat purchase to get completed. Second is the automation and the AI that is now being talked about. We talk about the order tracking basis, we talk about the inventory management, all these factors, including the forecasting. It's very relevant that what season is important for the product, per se the colors, and which colors goes good in summer, which colors goes good in winter. All this forecasting also adds on to the repeat purchases, because at a given point of time, when we talk about that we want to be available at every customer's wardrobe and at that particular time, and all these factors relevantly does matters. And the last part is obviously partnering with the 3PL logistics that my friend Mohit already said, that it's very important that we need to get the right partners with us, because any supply chain issues with the partners will definitely eradicate the essentials elements of the repeat purchases in the business.
Anyone else?
So for us, marketplace is out of the question. There is no marketplace that fits the rental model, so that's not happening. And I feel for a lot of time, it wasn't just our product that the customer was trying. We used to feel responsible that if we do not service properly, it's the first time trying of a category, rental as a category. They're trying it for the first time. If the experience is not good, they will never do it again. So, of course, product is key, but then here in our space, service is even more important. That's how we've changed the mindset from mom and pop rental stores to a brand, Flyrobe. One, of course, designer wear, what you rent. Second, hygiene, and all of those things are really taken, they're very, very important for us. And, the back-end spend is also way higher on that. Fitting, all of those things. Trendy pieces, the latest designers, it's not that, if you look at the mom and pop stores had an issue one set of inventory is just rotating for 3 years, and all that problems we've killed. Secondly, the period is very uh, different than a normal what you would do. It is an order which is booked 4 months in advance to T0 deliveries, same day deliveries. Bridal orders get booked 4 months in advance, so we know that we have to deliver. We can't deliver we can't deliver way prior to it. It has to be done then. Same asset is utilized by multiple people during the same time. Size and measurement is a major aspect of the business. Fitting is very important. Men, of course, we've got standard sizes, 40, 42, 44, whatever fits you, take that. For women, sizing is important. Sizing also is important, it's time sensitive. If she's a bride, she's ordered 4 months in advance. Closer to the date, she's half the size, she's losing weight. So, all of those things. Same day orders, men mostly, wedding guests, same day. रात को शादी में जाना है, अभी आएंगे order करने. That's kind of, customer base is huge. Categories also, I think we're trying to do everything because that everything is working for us. Wedding guest, you're the bride, you have it. You're the wedding guest, you have it. So many categories. And I feel for us, logistics, of course, online it matters a lot because delivered. So earlier we really had a problem in logistics. So we now started to function on pseudo delivery dates. Like our team at the warehouse would function on pseudo delivery dates. Like, we are at least making sure that the order reaches you 3 days in advance. When it's an online delivery, it has to. It's not like a t-shirt from Myntra, aaj nahi aaya, kal aaya, it's okay. It's not okay. If your outfit doesn't arrive, even if it's a function that you're attending, it's just not okay. So these are the challenges that we've been facing, and with I think local deliveries are much better for us. So and also the product is such that stores were very important. So we started to build stores and tried to, obviously franchise stores helped more because then we have a local partner who's there. So with all the experience, the product knowledge we bring to the table, and then with the local element that person gets in. And with stores coming in, even if we are centrally sending a product, the local store can actually solve the problem in case there is at the last minute. So all of those things. Customer engagement, of course, very important. It matters now if Sonam Kapoor has won a rental or when Ayushman Khurrana talks about it. So all of that is community for us, that and then we understand it's people want to see. So we started to develop smaller communities. One Flyrobe main page, yeah, but what Nashik is this Flyrobe Nashik community. So all of these things have really helped us in what we're doing now.
Unlike what Mohit does and what Kapil does, would I be right in classifying your business more of a service business rather than a product-focused business? Because the products are what the people are willing to, rent out, and the customers on the other end are willing to wear. So the whole crux of, your USP is the experience that you're able to offer, along with the fact that you're offering a product of a very high quality at a a much better price. So would that classification be right for you in that sense? And you're managing an extremely complex supply chain, where again, so returns for them is a nightmare, right? They don't want returns happening, but for you that's the reality of business. And returns is something, as a topic that I'll touch upon. But then, considering the complex nature of your supply chain, returns is something that is integral. So how do you go about doing that?
So I think when you talk about product versus service, 5 years ago you were absolutely right. It's rental, it's hygienic, people will just take it. But today they want the best, the trendiest products on rental. What Alia Bhatt want yesterday, they want the same thing on rental today. So we are focused on both now. And then inbound also is constant inbounds. Like it's not like we stock it and then we keep waiting for the season and then we keep restocking. It has to be constantly, it's moving, it's coming in and moving out. It just works like that.
So fashion has to be absolutely updated, and that's what people expect.
Absolutely. And also another thing which is the C2C model that we were just talking about. So C2C is where the expensive luxury products that we don't buy, we take it from people. Like, you have a Sabyasachi, lehenga, we don't buy, we take it on a rental share basis. So post-COVID, what has happened, that also, before COVID, so there was no dearth of such products. Our acceptance rate is just 7%. Everybody, whatever they have it in the closet, they want to give it out right away. But post-COVID, we started to get the newest products. So again, the logistics play a very important role. Like, she gets married day before yesterday. She said, come and take it. She's about to get married. She said, no, I have just had to buy it because of XYZ reasons. My wedding is on the 2nd, come and take it on the 3rd. So this is how the movement is happening.
Cool, I mean, great to hear from you all three, and what I take away is that what Mohit mentioned, importantly, it is very important to understand the customers. In your case, all that you get is 4 stabs at it in a given year, right? So 4 purchases happening. Very important to ensure that the first one gets through the door, but the other 3 happen. So experience plays a big role in that. What you mentioned, Kapil, is that the planning element of it, right? Forecasting and ensuring that you keep the right product at the right place. That again ensures that customers get what they want, and you in turn, derive sales from it. And Aanchal, it's about experience and product, and for you, it's a more complex supply chain. We have to ensure not just value in terms of the deal that they're getting, but also having to ensure that they are up to date with regards to the fashion, right? So very interesting points. Probably we move to the next question, and so we have one thing established now, right? That experience matters a lot, but experience typically comes at a cost, right? So we have great representation of different product categories here, right? I have fragrance, I have pet care, I have, I don't know how to categorize your product category, medical products, yeah, so varied, and then of course your category, right, beverages, etc. So the whole point is we've established that experience is key, logistics is a key element of that entire experience, but it comes at a cost. So how do you strike that balance between cost and experience? And that's where our question: how do you efficiently manage order fulfillment and the delivery promise?
And just adding to that point, basically, everyone is selling on different channels, right? So how do you manage a promise on one and make sure that all other channels are also basically delivering on the same kind of service levels? Or is there a strategy to basically to promote your own website, offer better services there, better than what maybe marketplaces are trying to do and all those things? Just wanted to understand on those points.
Probably Richa, you can get us started, and then I'll bring the others in here.
So interestingly for us, as it's a medicinal brand, which is prescription based, which is what I established earlier, any purchase made from our website, we enable the customer to get a free prescription, free consultation. So that comes along with it. Of course, we have we have presence on aggregators like 1mg and all of that, but there the prerequisite is that the person needs to already have a prescription. Right now, we have certain CBD aggregators also like CBD Store, which also have doctors. So they've completely copied our model, and they have doctors there, and they get the prescription. But because we kind of 80%, actually I would say 85% of all of our sales happen via the website itself, and there's a very strong reason behind it. It's not because, the aggregators can't do this, can't do that. The quality control is very, very strong when it happens inside. Everything from the home ground itself can be a lot better because we ensure that everything end to end is being matched. And now coming to the efficiency and the fulfillment part. Now because 80% of our orders are happening from the website and ourselves, we have shipment partners like Shipway for instance, and we can choose we have options because it's an aggregator. We can choose whichever delivery partner we want, and we have certain options there. So yes, we do take a call on which is cheaper, which is reasonable. But internally, an SOP which I have set is that I always choose a partner where I have my own internal meters, where if I've chosen, Blue Dart for instance, or whatever, how many times if there's a failed delivery or there's an issue, then they start getting in my red listed and then eventually blacklisted. Then we don't choose those particular delivery partners. And then of course they keep on getting higher ranked the better the delivery services are. So for us, that's very important. But before even the delivery part happens, it's very important that we are very clear with the timelines with our customer. Most people will write within 48 hours. We actually, ironically, write 4 days, and we deliver faster. So we actually under promise and over deliver, if that makes sense. We always ensure that, because for a customer, expectation management is very important, and as this is medical, it might not be holding true for all others, because quick commerce is there and all of that, but this is medicinal, so people are willing to wait, because and they get so where we have the quality control is the minute the person purchases the product, the consultation happens within 1 hour of it, and the prescription is given out. And their first level of customer satisfaction comes in. Now rest the delivery part, because the products are fragile. Many of our products are almost like our last order right now. One person ordered product worth 21,000. It was capsules, and plus they had a cancer patient at home, etc. So for them, yes, if it's a very, very dire terminal patient, we try our level best to give it as soon as possible. But because we're based out of Delhi and we don't have warehouses anywhere else, because of our license, we're not allowed to have anywhere else. We can only sell out of and keep a warehouse where our license is. So that's the complexity of our business. Otherwise, we would have loved to very easily, done it via Bombay and Bangalore. So we do make those kind of calls and take up the more expensive courier partners and absorb the cost when the customer requires it. But most times, more often than not, we try to deliver before timeline, and we make sure the timeline is a little bit more, which helps us, of course, in retained customers. Also, coming to your previous question, we actually have a 44% customer retention rate. So, yeah.
So probably I'd like to hear from Garima and Jyoti also, considering your product categories, right? There's fragrance and there's beverages. So are customers willing to, wait? And the reason why I ask you this question is, so Richa mentioned that she only has one warehouse located in Delhi. Theirs is a prescription-based. There's an element of science that comes in, right? People have to wait. You can't actually make an alternate purchase. But then when it comes to fragrances or tea for that matter, I don't know about the ASPs for your individual products. I am assuming they're not at a rate wherein your P&L can, let's say, absorb the cost of air transport, right? And at least typically the way we look at as supply chain partners is we don't promote air transport, right? It doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? That's where alternate choices come in. That's what Mohit did, right? He's decided to place his inventory now in Bangalore. Probably his plan is to cater to the southern customers out of the inventory that's parked in Bangalore. So in your case, how do you make that decision of splitting probably, let's say, your inventory across multiple locations? So you override the need for air transport by placing your inventory closer to your demand centers. So yeah, that's a question.
I'll take that. So I'm in the food/consumable space, beverages, right? So ASPs are typically low. They rarely cross 500 rupees. And so we are not a D2C brand. The margins don't allow, the average selling prices don't allow, the weight of the product does not allow. So इस बात की हमें कोई गलतफहमी नहीं है that we're not a D2C brand, and that's not how we play. We try to be as close to the customer in the channels that they're shopping these categories on, which today is very heavily skewed towards quick commerce. So we try to be on all quick commerce channels. We're there on Zepto, we're there on Blinkit, we're going on Flipkart Minutes now. So that's one, that try to be as close to your customer in the channels that they shop from. So today that's 10-minute deliveries. Now, the one thing that's most critical for this channel is your fill rate. But because today's customer has so many choices, she's so impulsive. If she doesn't get A, twice she doesn't get A, she'll switch to B, no matter how much she loves your product. So fill rates are very, very important, which means that if you have one central warehouse and if you're trying to ship to 10 locations of Zepto Blinkit, other than the home ground, you will typically take a week out for shipping large shipments. We don't work with aggregators, we point our hands that's a lesson I've learned. We work directly with shipping partners, whether that is DHL for exports, whether that is DTDC, India Post, and the others, Scorpion, VRL, all of that. But still, if you have a single warehouse and you're trying to ship to different DCs, your fill rates will be lower than 100%, and you don't ever want to do that. And so if you're in food, if you want multiple warehouses, A, you need multiple GSTs, B, you need multiple food licenses because you can't stock consumables unless you have a facile license. So it's far more complex than, let's say, probably apparel. I don't know much about it, but I'm guessing you don't need so much like licensing to.
You don't need the facile license for sure.
Just
unlike.
Yeah. So hers is probably has the highest barrier to expansion. Yeah, absolutely. So in our case, you need food licenses, and so now we have three warehouses now in Mumbai, Bangalore, Gurgaon. So at least all the locations, if Zepto Blinkit have 3 warehouses, we are able to do next day dispatches and second day deliveries. So that's the number one thing, that on quick commerce, manage your fill rates to 100%. Number one, like no amount of ad spends is going to compensate for that, no amount of displays are going to compensate for that. So that's one. Second, on all the other channels, whether that's e-com, Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket, I think customers have an understanding that do dil lagega. And if they're shopping from those channels knowing that the brand is elsewhere, then they're okay with that, and that's typically our repeat customers. So the first time trials, the impulse buys, all of them happen on quick commerce, but a lot of our repeats happen in bulk orders, like a pack of 30 bottles or a pack of 24 bottles, or all the large units get sold on Amazon, Flipkart, or on our own website. And so expectation management happens there. Then you have offline stores where a lot of discovery happens, and then some conversion also happens on other channels. So in food, yeah, this is what you have to do. Find your customer, find where they're shopping from, be available on those channels, keep your fill rates 100%, be as close to those warehouses as you possibly can, and that's what we try to do, and not work with aggregators.
Sure. I'd like to press you on that quick commerce bit, right? So we manage a lot of these large DCs for these quick commerce marketplaces or platforms, right? And what we've seen is they are now, and this I heard in the morning, so there's a constraint with regards to space on the dark stores, which is the front end. So you can't keep your entire assortment there. A similar constraint of space also is there on the DC front, right?
Correct.
And the supply chain practice, at least this is what we understand, this is our interactions, is they're bringing down the days of inventory for the individual brands. So essentially they want brands like you to replenish their DCs, which are in multiple times, yes. Right? And that'll become the frequency of those replenishments will go up, as the model evolves. And the challenge again remains the same, right? You have multiple delivery touch points, and the frequency is as high as, let's say, probably like a B2C order, right? You're having to do multiple runs. So, are you looking at that?
So the truth is somewhere in between. It's not as frequent as maybe a D2C, frequency, but once in a week, I think they don't want to hold more than maybe 10, 11 days inventory at the store level and 5 days inventory at the DC. Or it could be reversed, but yeah, yes. So we are usually shipping once a week for all quick commerce orders. We have weekly POs. I mean, it's as straightforward as that. So by the time you get the next PO, the last PO should have been delivered. That's the expectation. You don't want to ever be out of stock, and they are pressed for dark store space. That's correct. But what's also correct is a lot of this is evolving right now, so it depends on brand to brand how good a deal they are able to negotiate. Some brands get one SKU, some brands get all their SKUs. So it's better to kind of find a good fit from the beginning and get enough number of SKUs out there, because working and playing with one single SKU for a new brand like us, you will never make your money's worth on ad spends. So at least from our side, we try to include all the SKUs on all the platforms.
And Garima and Brinda, for you all, so Garima, your product also involves an element of DG, right? It's fragrance. So again, for you, shipping air by air is not an option at all. So again, how do you manage considering the added layer of complexity?
So for us, actually, air is not an option, and that's also the reason why we are not able to onboard on quick commerce. The problem is that 75% denatured alcohol, it's flammable, so it has to go by surface. But actually, a larger part of our issue is that mostly perfume buying is associated with trying on your hand, smelling it. It's a very subjective sort of choice. Although we are trying to replace it with, like, you know, our perfumes are called, say, vanilla wood, spice wood. So the first touch point via, say, an Instagram ad, you try to start creating an image in your head that this is what the product is going to be. But what we've come to learn is that customers go to marketplaces, but they want to order from the website because they want to get assistance in first finding out really what the perfume will smell like, how many hours it's going to last. So the first... So what we do is that we do a lot of educational content. What we've realized over, it's a small journey though, it's only like 2-ish years, but what we've realized is that a large part of fragrance industry in India is deodorant driven. The difference between a perfume and deodorant is still not known to a lot of people. You know, perfumes will not solve a body odor issue, but they think deodorant solves both the issues. But it doesn't. It doesn't have fragrance that lasts very long. So we do a lot of educational content around it, educate people, talk about fragrances, talk about notes, also like how it can evoke memories, etc. But from a logistic viewpoint, we are also trying to work with a lot of delivery, you know, logistic providers. Just like Jyoti said, we are also trying to move away from aggregators because it's been a bad experience for us as well. Costs, returns, failures, so we are trying to tie up directly. We've already identified the pin codes that work best with XYZ delivery partners and we try to deliver there. But a lot of our problem more is that customers want more personalized help before they really pick up the product. So the first purchase they always want to make from the website because from the marketplace they know that there is a constraint that they can't get in touch with the brand team. There is no way to understand you know, the specifics of the product, how many hours it will last, what kind of smell it will have, can I wear it in the evening, can I wear it to a wedding, like these kind of questions. So they always try to come via DM, via website. Second purchase, if they see that Amazon is delivering faster than the website, they do it from there. Otherwise, they do it from the website. For us, also, to what Richa had said, that we try to give a 5 to 7 working days timeline always, but we deliver in 2 to 3 days. This is a sort of expectation management that we've had to do because this has become, the time has become very emotional for customers now because of quick commerce. You know, they want their product, you order it. If it can't be delivered in 10 minutes, it has to be next day, which is not possible in our category. So we are trying to communicate with them more effectively about what their order status is. You know, they get updates, it's packed, it's getting shipped, it's out for delivery, it's here, it's there. So that's how we try to solve this problem. But we are still trying to figure out how to do air deliveries for alcohol-based products. And maybe you'll be able to help us with that. So, yeah.
So our channel is also mostly retail. We focus majorly on that because it's a weight intensive product. But then the other thing is that since we are into an eco-friendly packaging, so we package the product in a can, not in a plastic container. So what happens is during delivery, like the delivery partners are sometimes not careful enough with the package. Even after it being an aluminum can, it still gets damaged. So that is one concern that we face a lot, that people receive a damaged product even when it is packaged properly. So now the solution that we have realized is we need to package it a lot more carefully, and via Amazon it is more efficient compared to when it is being delivered through our own website.
Yeah, so again here, multiple takeaways for us. What Jyoti mentioned is that quick commerce happens to be a important channel for them, and they are trying to ensure 100% fill rate. That's the takeaway there. So yeah, And with regards to Richa, it's a complicated problem. They can't utilize a faster mode of transport that's air. And customers want a personalized touch and feel and the ability to have access to the brand directly when they make the initial purchase. So they try and work on that. And then of course, post that, the customers, once they understand the product, the fragrance suits them, they are open to any channel, right? That's your strategy. And what Vrinda mentioned is packaging plays a key role considering the way the product is designed, right? So how do you ensure you don't have damages in that sense? So yeah, very different takeaways and interesting points to note. So with this, we'll probably move to the last question that we have for the day, and this is something I'm sure is a pressing problem for each and every one of you: returns. Right? I have Win. So I have Win, I have Aanchal, I have Akshay, I have Kaushal, I have Vikram. Ravi is also there. Yeah, so Ravi is also there. Yes. So I have all of you all, and I kept the major part of the crowd for this question, and of course, all of you all are open to answer. Yeah, this question, previous question. Yeah, so it's an open table to that effect. How do you manage product returns, right? So, so I have a hand that's already gone up. I won't add anything. I'll pass on the mic.
So return is equal to cancellation for us. There is no return. It's basically, the time is such that if the product doesn't fit or whatever, first thing we do is we try to tell them, okay, fine, get it altered somewhere nearby, dealer, etc., etc. We'll bear the cost for that. Otherwise, it's cancellation. That's all. And it's not COD, it's rental, right? So it's an occasion-based service. COD? No, so we don't. So basically we take part payment and balance can be a COD. Balance can be a COD because complete COD doesn't make sense. We alter, we make so much effort and we send it and the guy says that I don't want to take it. We don't do it. Cancellation because it's time sensitive. It's tomorrow is the function, it's not fitting. By the time we change the product, etc. Again, stores have helped. The city we have store in, we can resolve those issues faster, otherwise not. No.
And so, whatever the advance payment the customer is making, you offer getting out of it during the wedding day. If she doesn't use it, do you return the advance or the advance is non-refundable?
So for us, if it's a store order, there's cancellation charge definitely. If it's a store order, if it's an online order, we do say it's a free cancellation, but subject to X number of hours and before you use it. You cannot cancel it post your occasion date.
But she can cancel it after altering it?
She can. Online, yes, she can. We charge security deposit for that.
So Aanchal, you don't have forward returns happening, which is, in our logistics lingo, we call it RTO, right? So you don't have RTO, but in your case, customer returns is big, right? Because it's a rental model. So you'll have elements of the returns problem, which is, let's say it's a Sabyasachi lehenga. You get it back to your warehouse or to your retail front, and you see that the product is damaged or there is some staining on it, spotting, etc. So that's a core element of the returns operations that we run. So we manage inventory for all the leading brands in India, or most of them. So we tend to provide services around, how can we, and 90% of the returns that we receive are crumpled. And you can't re-inventorize a crumpled piece of inventory and then have it sent across to the customer. So I'm sure those elements are large for you. How do you solve for that?
So also in our space, now the customer doesn't have much choice. It's not like I don't like it, I return it. You don't like it, you have an occasion. So you also need it. So that's also a thing so they also try to help us solve it. It's not like they're just on their whim. So if it's an option, okay fine, there's a nearby tailor, just go there. Our team will explain what to do and all that, they do it. Also, what we understand, it's ethnics, right? How many of us have ever bought expensive lehengas, sherwanis online? So when you don't buy that, you don't even rent it. So online orders are limited to wedding guest orders or NRI clients who, pre-planning it, etc., etc. And otherwise stores help again. So deliveries are local rather than, city to city, all of these elements.
So one element that Richa pointed out was a COD, and we used to do, of course, the category that we are into, we do not entertain any returns unless it's defective or manufacturing issues, something like that. But many a times on the marketplace, the way the product is being sold, today we can see it is sold color-wise, but when it started on the online channel, this is during the COVID times, it was being sold the assortment colors. Now a customer feels that okay, they need to buy a blue color, but from the perspective from the order process at the back end, it was like the order used to come with the assortment. So the dispatch section never used to know what color to be dispatched. So instead of blue, say XYZ, the green color goes to consumer. Now the whole idea was, from a brand perspective, we wanted not that color to come back. So we started the theory of giving some coupons to them along with the box for the next purchase, unless they do not return the product. So this also made one way of not returning the product. And second thing is, we did had one of the channel partners who was earlier with us on online for COD basis, but we realized that COD was a maximum returns which was coming in, and hence we decided to completely stop the COD business.
That's the funny part, that so much of a bottom line gets affected when it chooses. While for any business, they would, everyone easily say, "Nahi chahiye COD," but
yeah, I mean, it's a very hardcore decision that at one end we want to have our top line going up, and then we realize that this is going to affect a very important aspect. But the category that we are into, we had to take this kind of hardcore decisions. Yeah.
So I also wanted to go to Vikram. From what I understood, Vikram sells watches at two price points, and I might be wrong, please correct me. One is a 10,000 rupee watch, the other one is a 30,000 rupee watch, right? That's the limited information I have as of now. And you do a lot of cross-border orders. So you have people essentially placing orders, let's say in the US, Gulf countries, etc. Now, I don't know whether as a policy you offer returns, because I'm considering it's too much of an effort, too much of a cost. But then I'd like to hear from you, how do you operate? And what I understand is you use us, the DHL Express arm. So you can vent out the frustrations as any.
Give us the real tea, because we are also considering.
So we've got primarily two SKUs or two divisions. One is the straps, where your average order value is around 1,500 rupees, goes up to around 3,500 to 5,000 rupees. And then watches, as I said, from 10 to 31,000 rupees. But we made a very clear policy from day one: no exchanges, no returns, unless it's a defective product, right? Because especially for straps, what happens, people will order for a strap, they'll try and fix it to their watch and say, "Nahi, wo match nahi kar raha, I don't like it." I say, "Boss, I don't care. You ordered a strap from me, you see what it is." Because one thing which we have done is, all the photographs on our website are actual photographs. We do not Photoshop them at all. The photographic quality might be bad, the composition might be bad, but we try to keep the colors as close to original as possible. So it's not appealing, the photographs are not appealing, because the feedback that we got from the customers is, when you get this strap in hand, it's a totally different, it looks so much better when we actually holding it in the hand compared to the photographs that we see on the website. So we're very confident about our quality. So we made it very clear, no exchanges, no returns. But there have been incidences where somebody says, "Boss, I ordered a strap, assuming it was an 18 mm, but once it came, I saw it's a 19 mm. So we're very clear, you share a photograph of the strap, because the moment somebody opens the strap and uses it even once, we are able to know. And the question that we tell people is, the way you are returning the strap, would you accept it if somebody else had used it? 99% of the man will say no. So if...
But Vikram, let's say, is it possible to put in this much of attention to returns once you really scale up and let's say you hit 10-20,000 orders a day, you really expand your business, would it be an effective mechanism? So I understand you can put in that effort right now, right? But let's say tomorrow it becomes a business of scale, yeah, which it will, sure.
So, but more for the hygiene part is where we do not encourage people to return straps. Just like for undergarment, you just can't buy an undergarment and then return it back, unless there is a manufacturing defect. So we don't encourage that. Only as an exception is when we allow.
Got it. So Kaushal and Akshay for you. So Kaushal, more specifically to you, you're in the apparel segment, right?
The worst.
Yeah. So the statistics that we have, and we'd like to hear from you. As we understand, you have in the industry about 21% RTO.
I wish I would be jumping on the table right now.
So let me put out the stats as we understand. 21% RTO and 12% customer returns. So when you blend it, comes to about 30. But that's how we look at it.
So ours is more of an evening wear category. So the returns are again higher because women, especially in India, because the sizing is so different. Rather than in Europe, they are more in shape, I would say. So it is a problem, definitely. So 35 to 40% is what they say is normal returns. In websites like Miraggio, it goes up to 50% sometimes. So we know there is a problem. We know, we have understood in the last 5 years, the sizing is a major issue. RTOs, of course, we cannot do anything about. The order comes, you have to send it.
But let's say on the RTO bit, I'd like to hold you there. I don't know your current fulfillment strategy. I've heard from Mohit, right? He's made a pointed remark that I've now split my inventory and I have south, north, east is something that he's looking at, probably something in the west. Now what we've realized when customers split their inventory and keep it closer to the demand center is, A, you have better experience because you're able to now deliver it faster, right? So the customer experience is better. So once you have the product coming in faster to your doorstep, the chances of you not accepting it, right, typically goes down. And whatever statistics that we've looked out, what we've seen is, your RTOs tend to come down by at least 20-30% on average. Order conversions go up. I don't know what's your fulfillment strategy as of now. Do you hold inventory in one location or you split it across?
No, so we have in fact 6 warehouses all over. Myntra has about 6 warehouses. Our products are in all those 6 warehouses. So for Nykaa as well. I think RTOs are bigger concern even from your own website. And especially with our category, it is a very spontaneous buy. People, 2,000 rupee top, chalo acha lag raha hai, let's buy it. And when it's delivered to them after 3 days or 2 days or 4 days, they realize, I don't want it, I shouldn't have bought it. So best just send it back. So that happens a lot with our category. So the way we see it, ki returns is an issue. How do you solve it? We see data where it says the maximum reason is, say, size too small. Okay, we look into our sizing, we understand where we can improve things. Another thing is we talk to a lot of customers. We call them, why have you returned it? Do you still like it? Like Kapil said, if you like it, it fits you, keep it, we will give you a 50% off. Maybe the next time, sorry, we will send you a free dress, the one you ordered. Keep this also, we will send you one more. So you're trying to retain the customer. So the only things we can do is to solve the issue at our end. Because if the customer wants to wear it and return it, you can't do anything about it. If they want to just return it, you can't do. So problem hai. Ab apne end pe solve karo is the way we see it. Whatever we can do from our end, we will do that.
Are these potentially your customers that you have ideally rented? But they just don't free?
No, very different categories. So I think in African culture, I think that in India, men's stats.
For men, sizes are standard. There are no standard sizes for women. My H&M M is different than a Zara M and XYZ, right? And this is one aspect, and another aspect is psychology also. Like when we used to rent out dresses, Western wear, so that time, women were stuck. I just want M. So, we told her that L will fit you, M will not fit you, whatever. And there have been instances that where dresses come back, We've sent her an L, tagged it as M, and she's still worn it. So that's also one psychological angle. And I think standardization of sizes is something which needs to happen now in India for women. It needs to happen.
So in fact, when Smriti Irani last year was the textile minister or something, she had come up with it that we are going to bring it on and things, but honestly it is too difficult. Because we do a lot of surveys, we have about 250 people in our own office factory. A lot of women, we keep trying different different sizes or different shapes, different age groups. It does not fit, because there is a genuine issue. Like today there are 3 people with similar measurements, but an M does not fit all of them. Kisi ko L aayega, kisi ko M aayega, things like that. So there is a genuine issue which, if you want to sell apparel, you just have to accept it. You mark up your margins accordingly, you put in that extra logistics, return cost, and live with it.
So that's the cost of doing business. Hence.
There is no digital product that can actually solve this. Because the found a simple product for the handbags.
So you can, in fact, we are in the middle of building it, but that you can do only through your own website.
Yeah.
Which for us at least, and in fact most apparel brands I would say who are selling on marketplaces, is a very small percent through your own website.
As far as the return is concerned, how much percentage are you using?
Pretty much majority.
The apparels you can. Bags.
Probably 1 or 2% which are totally not.
So Jyoti, what you just mentioned, I think when we were trying to rent Westerns, we were really early in the market, trying to do subscription, monthly rentals and all of those things. And then the idea was we did try. So for a couple of years, our CAC did not come down, which obviously meant that product is not a perfect fit then. And also that, the idea was how many people are like, what we are wearing today, I'll wear it again. So, the basics are repeated. How many super highly social people who just wear a new dress every day, every evening or whatever, are very, very limited. And of course, so we focused on the occasion wear category, which is heavy ethnics and really expensive. We went really high, like 20K and up. That's what. But I have started to see a little demand from like South stores, like Western category also should be added. So let's see how we go about it.
Cool. So we have Akshay and Win. Akshay shared a very interesting story of her returns. Probably you can share that again here.
So when we're talking about all this, I'm kind of smiling in my head. So my business comes with a very strange problem that I have a different consumer and a different customer. I have to design my product for the consumer, that's your four-legged pet, but I have to make sure that your human is ready to buy it out of the shelf. And what's the kind of, that the kind of instinct, the kind of experience that has gone into it, so it makes my job a little tougher. Exactly. So I was just talking to the guy from Neiman's, so our category is kind of equivalent to kids care. When you talk about speed, our customers are ready to wait. If a product is okay with your pet, they are ready to wait. As a D2C brand or a retail brand, I want few of my products to get me good ratings, get me into the limelight, and I genuinely want to get into B2B business someday, something like a ecommerce or or like a Amazon E-Trade approaching me to buy my product, because I fear that if the more I sell through my website, the more returns I'm going to get. It's a fear in my mind. I do not do it of fear. I'm telling you, I just shared you a story. I've gotten a 10 kg dog food sealed bag with garbage inside. That's the kind of fear we live in. And people are ready to do that for pet food. Imagine pet food. So for us, speed cannot be the only problem. Is not the actual problem. Our problem is kind of making a perfect product which is acceptable by the consumer and readily acceptable by the customer at the right price point. So that is where we are. And when it comes to returns, genuinely, I'm one of those few D2C founders who want lesser order on my website rather than selling through Amazons, because they have a no return policy and I am not in contact with the customer. I'm telling you, so these are like I told you I might start crying for returns, because that has happened. Now we've got shoes back, we've got a pressure cooker back in returns in our deal. Then I will not get orders. Simple. So again, since I have a retail, a lot of times consumables is the hard part, but non-consumables are resellable for me. So that aspect of the business is kind of secured off. But the business comes from consumables. Our major 80% of the share of the business is consumables. And that is where we pray to the God, that this product we market so much that either a Blinkit or a Zepto or or a Flipkart Minutes or a big basket approaches me and takes a B2B order. They take the margin, I'm okay with that.
But is fraud such a big percentage of your returns failure rate? Because these are all fraudulent activities.
Post-COVID, so what has happened in the categories, from the beginning, I think everybody in the panel would say, pet care was a Amiro ka chonchla. When we were growing up, if you had talked to your parents that we want to take a pet home, I think the single jawab mila hoga yaar pehle tu khud pal ja, ya main tere bhai behan ko paal lum, ya it's like which is people of hobby, it's like a hobby, richest hobby. Post-COVID, what happened is this market has spread into tier 2, tier 3 cities. We do not face such issues in tier 1. These issues are very rare in tier 1, but they are very exploited in tier 2, tier 3 cities.
Got it. So, see, the reason why I asked you that question is, and this is something that we're trying to develop in the future, because we sit globally and in India on a large pool of retail brands that we work with. And when I say retail, that also extends to consumer, technology, other divisions also. We have access to a lot of this information. We can actually tell you probably which pin code, which geography, what is the reason, where can you expect higher rates of frauds happening. So this is something that we're actually adding to our retail product portfolio. We're calling it for now Retail Insights, and the idea is we analyze all this information and insights that we sit on and process it and share it with our customers as actionable inputs. So that is something that we're working on, and hopefully this session helps, and we'll be publishing that. And I have Win to finally share his thoughts. He has a very different supply chain model. He doesn't operate warehouses. All the fulfillment happens from his stores.
So being in luxury business, so we generally do not get 100 or 1,000 orders in a day. We hardly get 30 orders, right? And fortunately or unfortunately, we do not have a return policy. So whenever we are getting the order, since kids wear is very complicated category, right? Our 2-year child can be fit into 4 years of the outfit, or a 4-year child can be fit into 2 years of the outfit. Point number 1. Point number 2, now again the Zara and H&M, we also got two kind of the sizes. We have got European sizes and the American sizes, right? So we have got the policy in the organization that whenever we are getting the return, the order, my store team calls the people, right? And they ask that what is the brand that your child is wearing currently. Suppose because there are so many customers, they are buying very first time from us. And suppose they say Tommy, right? And they have ordered Armani. So there are always size gaps, right? And we tell them that you should not buy this size. We are sending you this size, right? And this really works for us. So this is the one policy that we have taken into consideration, and our return is 0.5%, and
Hence he was kept for the last inputs. Doesn't have the problem.
Before leaving, we can start trying.
And yeah, the same incidence has happened to us. So if I say average order value, it is 15,000 rupees. Yeah. No, we have got, we have got so many customers. They buy 16 years from us, because if you buy a Hugo Boss t-shirt for 16 years, it is 9,000 on our website. If you go and buy a XS small from the Hugo Boss store, it is 15,000 rupees. So we have also got the access. Even so many these teens buy from us, right? There are so many, again the fitting things. So many women who has got the, they do also say.
They don't spare the time to initiate the return. Customers keep together.
This is customer mind, and at the moment.
That's the segment to build it. Yeah.
So at the moment, like we have got the hardly 1,500 customers with AOP of 87 crores. So we are super happy. Like.
Cool. So Win doesn't have returns as a problem neither. Business is a concern. That's a great situation to be in. A happy note on which we conclude the session. Thank you everyone for being extremely patient. We'd like to take 5 more minutes of yours. Small deck that we'd like to run you by. Something that hopefully you remember us for tomorrow if you require any of our services. We are trying to solve for problems. So probably Kushagra will run through that website. And another request I'd like to make is we would request you to drop in your cards in that bowl that's kept there. If you all are not carrying your cards, another request from our side is kindly share your contact information. We would like to get in touch with you at a later stage. Over to Kushagra.
Okay, so I'll take only 5 minutes. We'll just tell you what we do, how we are present in India. So the map you see here are all the locations that we are at. So we have multiple warehousing running across. So there are 40 odd cities in India where all of consumption happens. 140 odd warehouses. You see a lot of big size 3 lakh plus square feet warehouses that we run, along with a lot of dedicated warehousings for a lot of our customers. These are few select retail clients that we have. These are, some of them have their own big box warehouses like an Adidas or Nike, but then there are others where we are running it in a multi-client site, giving them maybe 1,000 bins locations, and there is a separate brand having another 100 unit bins, and that's how we are utilizing the space. We are there in every sector, but yeah, we are here to talk more about retail, consumer, technology. This has been the journey for the retail and the e-commerce footprint. We started pretty early, 2011-12. We have grown to a position where we operate more than 40 odd brands. 4.5 million square feet is our presence in the sector right now, with a very decent manpower working, and it keeps on fluctuating as your sales comes and goes. These are the few select services that we wanted to show you. The center to the DHL fulfillment network and a return center. So fulfillment network is geared towards the omni-channel fulfillment. These are ready to move in sites with all the pre-built capex, IT services, everything. And you just come in and we can start your business in 15 days. Return, like everyone has that problem, so we have a return center where we segregate all the inventories which come in. We do a lot of refurbishment activities, relabeling, MRP, relabeling, packaging. We do a lot of washing, stain removal, and all those sort of things. So we have factory licenses in all those warehouses, and we can do all those services that you require normally.
So you also custom solutions?
We do. Yeah, we do that. We do that for some of our customers. With wrinkle, we can wash it out and remove it.
something like a ecommerce.
Yeah, we do. We do that. So all gamut of services, right from your primary, where we can pick up material from your suppliers to the warehouse and to the end consumer.
Do you charge extra for appointment list?
Yeah, that's what I was confused.
Typically, we don't. Up to maybe to one or two, we normally built it into our network, so that doesn't come to you as a separate cost. It's basically built into the system. We do have it.
E-commerce deliveries, they have.
They yes.
So we do a lot of mall replenishment also. Again, a similar way of working. Malls operate in certain hours. We give you a specific window within which to deliver. Then of course all these brands are trying to replenish their stores. So again, very similar.
And it takes a lot of waiting time.
Yeah.
While it's all nice, the presentation, the reality is that you have to stand outside Zepto's warehouse from 7 till 12:30 and 1 o'clock is when the actual
We manage the Zepto warehouse. So probably we'll be able to bring in some.
So all these quick commerce are PO-based delivery.
Yeah.
So you will be able to handle all the packaging. We send you the products in bulk.
Yes.
You'll be able to handle the packaging.
Yeah.
Ship it.
So typically for all
So that's So that's like a typical model. We do that for most of our customers who actually sell it to either Amazon, Flipkart, or to Zeptos and all those things. So we do have a person who will take care of all your appointments and everything. This is your PO, we fulfill it.
Sorry. Basically, when we're shipping out our first batch of shipments to Dubai or our like March imports from Japan, we really evaluated nature. But compared to Arabics, it's really expensive. And for my kind of product category, like which is the last thing solving product which I so it doesn't kind of fit into the unit economics.
So that's a very commercial discussion, depends on the very specifics of that business dealing. As I made the distinction in the beginning, that's the express business. So we operate as separate organizations. So DHL Express is responsible for, or DGF for that matter, is responsible for cross-border trade. If you have more requirements in the future, we can connect you with relevant folks, probably assist you, and see what is the reason why our commercials are far away from an Aramex or some other competitor. However, our area of focus right now is in-country distribution and logistics. What we're talking about is, let's say you want to send your material from a Delhi to a Zepto warehouse in Luhari, Gurgaon, or I don't know, Bhiwandi in Mumbai, or stock it there. Those are the requirements that we're talking about, or returns, as Mohit mentioned. We can do all that. So our area of focus is that we do last mile also through product, yes.
And more important, it is the person with whom you are connecting with in the organization, who will either help you make it or break it. So before, during COVID, we actually tied up directly with DHL. Things were going on fairly well because at that point of time there was nobody else who was delivering. Only DHL was working 24/7 and they used to deliver. So whatever price they said, we agreed on it, things were going good. As things moved on, we came to know market pricing is much lower. We requested Blue Dart to give us a better pricing. This guy kindly refused. I called the manager one fine day, he comes to my place. That's high and mighty, and then he tells me, you feel we're expensive, why don't you tie up with Nimbus Post? So the man tells So I said, fine. I was not aware that Nimbus Post was giving me the same services at half the rate. So we tied up with Nimbus Post. It's a different story that the levels of service are totally different, despite the Blue Dart picking it up. So anyway, we managed with that for some time. Now we are again negotiating back with Blue Dart.
So they said use my shipping services through an aggregator because they have negotiated better rates with me than you as well.
Precisely. But there is a lacuna there. There is a big disconnect there because your shipment through Blue Dart via Nimbus Post is given second grade treatment.
We used to do that when FedEx was.
So now we're going back to Blue Dart direct.
But so just to add on that, we are trying to build in a network where all your domestic needs will be taken care by DHL supply chain, and wherever you want to connect it to some other country or geography. That's where you will get a seamless transportation through express, and for you it will be can be one contract with DHL on, and we manage everything at the back end between our sister companies. So that's something that we are coming up with.
The shipping provider, I feel like 95% success rate is good. 100% will never be achieved. You will always have tough crowd.
Sure.
Like wherever you go for client pitching, because you can't make people happy 100% of the time. There will be failures, and clients just remember those. So it's not that you work with Gati, you work with EDDC, their host, and we work with all the ship rocket ship, right? All of them. So we had major losses with aggregators. We had very minor losses when we work with it, but it's not loss free. And the point about team is you're only as good as the team that is handling the client. We were working flawlessly with Gati, and then the entire team just moved over to DPDC. They took my business to DPDC. So like that's
So building on all these two things, there are some added on services that we offer. Obviously, sustainability becomes a very important part now of all the solutions that we go through. So we have packaging solutions to that. All warehouses are geared towards a lot of sustainable initiatives. Apart from that, we also have something. So we have all the standard dashboards and data analytics tools that we offer on delivery and other fronts. We do offer a lot of things for you on the sustainability front as well. So what's the carbon footprint that your business is generating, or from a transportation or from a warehousing perspective, and how much have you saved with the initiatives that we have offered. So those things are also there. Along with that, we have an end-to-end transport business, which is our own network, our sister company Blue Dart, and then we have few vendors at the back end. I'll just quickly move on from this. So a couple of snapshots.
So the image that you see on the top, those are our return centers, and these are state-of-the-art facilities that we do all the services that we spoke.
So we thought we'll give you a bit flavor of the kind of scale that we operate. So this case study is for a footwear brand. I'm not sure. Yeah. So we operate a dedicated warehouse for them. They store 8 million plus inventory. We do 120,000 orders a day for them. So that's the scale that we operate for one of these clients. It's a 3-shift, 24/7 operation. Compared to that, we also operate in operation for a D2C startup. We started this warehouse is in Bangalore, where we do 200 units a day. It started with 3 manpower. Actually started with 2 manpower. We then put in one more to help the business growth or to speak. So that's the length and breadth of operations that we run. It is a 3 lakh square feet warehouse to a 500 square feet or even smaller warehouses that we run. So just to give you a flavor of, it's not only the big box operations that we do. We do try to help a lot of D2C customers service better. It's a multi-client site.
So you may be at X scale today and you may require 500 square feet. Tomorrow your scale becomes 2x. We'll give you that.
So you're given X cubic feet right now?
It can be anything.
Up to 1,000 units.
It can be anything. It can be a square.
Dependent on your volumes. It's variable.
So it can be a square feet basis. It can be a pallet base. It can be a bin base as well.
And do you charge, like, is this the right time you ask whether you charge for in and out movement of
Yes, so it's a
stock?
variable pricing model. In, out, and storage. 3 elements of price back.
So that model can be catered to whatever you want it.
And we take care of complexities like FSI registration. We have to take one as a service provider. We have to take one. Very simple process. APB registration is straightforward.
Right.
All that can be made.
So all the solution front, however you want a commercial, however you want to tie up with basis pallet, bins, square feet, that's everything is open to discussion. So we can do anything anytime that you want.
How are you different from like something that Amazon and Pathare do? So if you send a production to the warehouse, do you still send it to Pathare or you can handle that?
So we do have 2 solutions. So one, obviously you can then from our warehouse send it to Amazon in a bulk mail. We do have OMS and a WMS solution where you can basically keep the same inventory in our warehouse and expose it to multiple marketplaces. We are tied up with all the 24, 25 small, big marketplaces. So the same SKU that you're keeping in the warehouse is visible on all these marketplaces. You don't have to segregate between the marketplace or your brand.com or even do your retail normal B2B inventory. It can be a same inventory pool kept in the warehouse and exposed everywhere. So that way you can optimize on your inventory as well. It, so it's obviously scale helps, but at whatever scale you want it to be, it can be released that way. All the models and all the logics are built into our order management system, so we work around that. Good thing is all our warehouses are already listed on the marketplaces already. They know where we work at, so you will not face any problem from them as well.
If you're at a lower scale, the network model makes sense because you may want to place it
in the northern part of the country, west, east. So you don't have to, take fixed spaces. And if you're operating at a large scale, like a large brand, probably running a dedicated site makes more sense because you have that economy of scale kicking in. So so H&M was one brand that I heard being mentioned here. We'll be running the largest warehouse for them in India, so we do that for a lot of people. Thank you everyone. Thank you for your time.